Shabbat Shalom. We're about to start. Aaron's forgotten his music. So in just a moment, we will actually start. Page 75. Shabbat Shalom on this most unusual Friday night where we have more people joining us online than people in the congregation. But it is so wonderful to come together, even if we don't share the same space, to share this special time together. Rabbi Aaron, I am here in the sanctuary, and all of you out there, members of Northwood and Pinner Liberal Synagogue, members of other liberal synagogues who are joining us because they don't have their own live streams, members of Reform synagogues, maybe even members of Orthodox synagogue who are just browsing the internet to see what's out there for Shabbat. And so we bring in Shabbat together by lighting candles, lighting 2 candles to remind us of the commandment to keep the Shabbat, both Shamor, to keep the Shabbat, but also Zachor, to remember. And just before we light the candles, a short reflection by Devon Spear. Wherever you are, however you choose, to gather your hands in and make blessing. Zachor, to remember, and Shomer, to observe this holy day. May you gather in the strength of generations, to bathe yourself in the lights of where you came from and what now you must do and not do for the sake of creation. And may you strengthen the generations to take up this sacred refrain, that we stop to behold the lightness we bring to the world through our blessed and capable hands. And if you have candles at home, do feel free to light them with us. As we recite the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And at the foot of page 75 we read together, the Sabbath has descended to enfold us in its mantle of peace. It brings to us the precious gift of time. Time to embrace family and friends, to reflect more deeply on the meaning and purpose of our lives, and to worship in the beauty of holiness. May our Sabbaths always be sanctuaries of love and devotion, bringing contentment to our hearts, happiness to our homes, and blessing to our people. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Balchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
The Eternal One reigns, let the earth rejoice.
Let the many isles be glad.
Clouds and darkness surround you.
Righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne.
Your lightnings illumine the world.
The earth sees and trembles
Mountains melt like wax before you, O God.
before the ruler of all the earth.
The heavens proclaim your righteousness.
And all the peoples behold your glory.
Zion hears and is glad.
The daughters of Judah rejoice in your judgments.
For you are supreme over all the earth.
You are exalted far above all other gods,
Light dawns for the righteous.
and joy for the upright in heart.
Let the righteous rejoice in you.
And give thanks to your holy name. Yedid nefesh, av harachaman, meshoch avdecha, eretz onecha, yarutz avdecha, kamo hayal, yishtachavel, mul matarecha, yerav lo, yedidotecha, mino fetzuf, v'chol ta'am, igalena, ufros chaviva alai, et sukat shalomach, tahi eretz mikvodecha, nagila v'nishmecha bach, maher ahuf kiva hamoed, v'chonehonenu ki me'olam. We turn on to page 91. Page 91. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yananai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yananai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamo v'zacho b'dibor echad, ishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'lihitila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. ילן דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, גבעה הורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה.
You may join us in standing, even if you're at home and just getting off your sofa. It's wonderful to welcome you all over, from all around the world, actually, all the way from New York and Charlotte and Chiswick or Watford and Northwood. And so we join together on page 92 with the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach, Leolam Vaed.
Praise the one to whom our praise is due.
We praise the Eternal One, to whom our praise is due forever.
You may be seated. And we read together, we praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise your God, whose word makes evening fall.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecharaveta, Amecharaveta. Torah u'mitzvot, u'kimu mishpatim, otanu limadata, otanu limadata. Mapin Adonai Eloheinu b'shofteinu, kumenu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ohev Amo Yisrael. Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol ma'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshaltam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kadoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together.
Mi chamocha belim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed.
And it has been said, the Eternal One has delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves.
We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu makenu lechayim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu makenu lechayim.
Grant, Eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל.
And you may wish to stand.
שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth shall declare your praise. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Unending is your might, eternal one. You are the source of eternal life. Great is your power to redeem. You cause the wind to blow and the rain to fall, the sun to shine and the dew to descend. In your love you sustain the living. In your compassion you grant us eternal life. You support the falling and heal the sick. You free the captive and keep faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of all strength? Who is your equal, sovereign author of life and death? Whose will it is that goodness shall prevail? Trusting in you, we see life beyond death. We praise you, O God, source of eternal God.
Kadosh ata v'noreh shemecha, ve'ein lanu Eloah mibaladecha.
Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el
HaKadosh. And if you're following a liberal tradition, you may be seated, and for everybody else, remain standing and do your own thing. But let us join together in reading at the foot of the page.
We thank you, O God, for this Sabbath day, which calls us to a closer communion with you. Though you are near to us at all times, you reveal your presence most clearly when we direct our thoughts towards you in worship and meditation. In you, O God, our humanity is exalted. You are our life. From you come its greatness, its power, its beauty. Establish in us, we humbly pray, a devotion to you that shall be firm in all the circumstances of life. May this service renew in our hearts the sense of your presence and bring us peace.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
We continue together, our God and God of our ancestors. May our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments, and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One,
Let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts.
And may
All Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amacha Yisrael, utfilatam ba'havat gabel, tchil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, b'yirah na'avod.
In these most unusual times, an unusual prayer inserted in the middle of our Shabbat Amidah, a prayer written by Rabbi Eli Tikva Sarah, a prayer for the coronavirus crisis. Eternal One, Rock of our lives, we turn to you in the midst of this coronavirus crisis, seeking refuge and a foothold, and also encouragement as we try to find our own courage.
As social distancing prevents us from experiencing the joys of life in community, may the need to withdraw and stay well be accompanied by the urge to reach out to others with compassion and care, and to forge and renew connections, even in the absence of physical contact.
Recalling the trials of those who went before us and their endurance and survival, may we find the strength to endure even in the face of pain and loss, and the insight to know that this challenging time will pass.
As the natural world renews itself, may we be inspired by the wonders and marvels of the earth, to discover through this crisis pathways to renewal and new hope.
And let us say,
Amen. And let us give thanks for what we do have. Modi manachnu lach, shatahu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu, le'olam va'ed. Tzor chayenu magen yishenu, atahu ledor vador. Nodeh lecha unesaper tehilatecha, al chayenu hamasurim biyadecha, ve'al nishmotenu hapodot lach, ve'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu, ve'al niflotecha v'tovotecha, shebachol et erev v'voker v'tzohorayim. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'er lehodot. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov Israel, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
We praise you, O God, the source of peace. We'll take some time for silent prayer.
Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu. Shetashkein b'fureinu ahava v'achava v'shalom v'reut. V'tatzliach sofeinu acharit v'tikva. May it be your will, eternal God, that love and harmony, peace and friendship shall dwell among us. Help us to face the future with confidence and hope. Guide us in your world with good companions and good intentions. When we rise up in the morning, may we find our hearts ready to revere you, and may our deepest longings be fulfilled for good. Yehi ratzon imrefi, v'hegion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri v'goali.
Aseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam.
May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer.
May the Most High Source of perfect peace grant peace to us, to all Israel, and to all humanity.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam.
As Rabbi Aaron is just getting ready for his sermon, we do have the regular yard-side list of the congregation with us, but there are people watching from around the world. So if you do have a name that you wish to have mentioned during the Kiddush, just before the Kiddush, then if you post it in the comments on our Facebook page, I'll be able to add them to our yard-side list. If you do so during the sermon, that would be helpful, because we have a little bit of a delay. We are probably a few seconds before you. So if you do wish to add some names to our yard-side list, then please do so in the comments.
Last week I commented to our Parashat HaShavua class, and if you missed it this week, then you can join us, because you may be sat at home next week at midday on Fridays. You can tune in on Zoom to join us. I commented that the Torah is always the book that keeps on giving. And that's because last week's Torah portion, apart from anything else, contained a holy basin, a place to wash one's hands and feet. Well, I've got my special pump here, but who could do better than a special copper basin to wash your hands and feet in at this moment in time? And we move into portions of the Torah which one could see as repetitive, could see as a tad boring, as we have the carrying out of the duties commanded a couple of weeks ago by God to Moses about the building of the tabernacle. Let them B'Tzalel Holiav, and all the skilled persons whom the Eternal has endowed with skill and ability, to perform expertly all the tasks connected with the service of the sanctuary, carry out all that the Eternal has commanded. Moses called them B'Tzalel or Holiav, and all those skilled persons whom the Eternal had endowed with skill, everyone who excelled in ability to undertake the task and carry it out. They took over from Moses all the gifts that the Israelites had brought to carry out the task connected with the service of the sanctuary. But when these continued to be brought, free will offerings to Moses morning after morning, all the artisans who were engaged in the task of the sanctuary came, each from the task upon which he was engaged, and said to Moses, "The people are bringing more than is needed for the tasks entailed in the work that the Eternal has commanded." Moses thereupon had this proclamation made throughout the land: "Let no person, male or female, make further effort toward gifts for the sanctuary." And so at that moment, the people stopped bringing. their efforts had been more than enough for all the tasks to be done. Then all the skilled among those engaged in the work made the tabernacle. We are living in, for my generation and younger for sure, unprecedented times. We have never experienced quarantine or rationing. Perhaps that is why a general response has been panic, exemplified by horrible scenes of scuffles and elderly, vulnerable people struggling to buy simple, singular products. There is understandable concern and stress for so many regarding their physical health, especially among those who euphemistically have underlying health conditions, not to mention those who will inevitably be directly or indirectly affected by coronavirus. The mental and psychological stress and anxiety is perhaps even more acute and widespread. Only the most cavalier could say they had not had a moment or moments of concern. There are many of us who are in any case anxious. And then there are those who now will not be taking GCSEs or A-levels, or potentially final exams at university or professional qualifications. Perhaps understandably concerned, and yet best equipped are those of our more mature members, and we, and I'm sure many communities around the country have many. Whilst not necessarily able to be out and about as they might wish, it is their spirit that can be inspiring to us all, and the ability, and that is truly a skill as high as that of Bezalel, to gratefully accept support. We all have our skills to bear, and we can all generously bring, as the Israelites did, until we can call our maspik, dayenu, enough. A new season has arisen, and we can walk out into it with our heads high, that we have all made our contribution to the community. To the community, our community of Northwood and Pinner Liberal Synagogue, of all your communities, of all of those who are watching us this evening in this Kabbalat Shabbat service, and of course outside. If we have brought enough to our own community, then to think beyond it. Within our local area, we have appeals from New Hope, our local charity that supports those in risk of homelessness, from the Watford and Three Rivers Refugee Partnership, who look and support all those who have come from across the world into our local area. And we think of all of those across the world as our hearts move us. We can all give, whether it is using underutilized skills at this moment in time, our efforts, our time, and our money. Towards the conclusion of this parasha, and indeed the conclusion of the book of Exodus, we read, "When Moses had finished the work, the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the presence of the Eternal One filled the tabernacle." There will still be times to come when we are not filled with a good spirit, when we will need more than human beings and community around us can bring. At that time, perhaps we will look up. Perhaps at times like these, more than ever, we will look for a presence that we may not have known or felt before. May we truly find it, and may we find within each one of us a spirit. May we be filled with the Spirit of God, with the spirit, the ability, the skill, and a little bit of nous to be able to know what is right to do at this moment in time when we are all somewhat fumbling. Let us at those moments in time look up to the hills. Where will my help come from? Where will my help come from? My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth.
Might not be able to hear you singing in harmony with us, but it's so good to know that you are singing in harmony with us as you are joining us from safety of your homes together for this wonderful Shabbat evening service. We turn to our concluding prayer. There are many things that are different on this Shabbat. The one thing that isn't different is that Rabbi Aaron and I haven't planned every single bit, so that's why we were on the wrong page also at one point.
Were we on the wrong page?
Well, you were trying to give me a hint, but I didn't get it.
It doesn't matter at all. That's honestly, it's fascinating, and it's been a true blessing actually already this Shabbat to be able to watch services from across the globe, and as Shabbat has come in, to be able to watch them in the Far East, to be able to watch them in Israel. In the Czech Republic with student Rabbi David Maxa in one of our very special partner communities in Prague, now to our own. And, well, some can be wonderfully, wonderfully polished, and others like our own, perhaps a little bit homely. But it's all about community, and it's all about what we bring together to it. And I am fortunate to have Rabbi Leah, and for the two of us to be able to work together.
And if you wish to stand for the Aleinu, if you have your own prayer book, it's on page 520, or on the screen it should be showing already. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, אשר שמחלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. Trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our hearts, and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule. When all invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honor. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. For ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you'll reign in glory. As it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever.
And it has been said, the Eternal God shall rule over all the earth. On that day the Eternal God shall be one, and known to be one.
Bayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad. As we worship before you, O God, we think of those who once shared with us the joys and burdens of life and who are no longer in our midst. In our community, we recall the art sites of Bernard Cohen, the husband of Joan, father of Nicole, Darren, and Gary. Daphne Isaacs, the mother of Hugh and Arthur, and grandmother of Belinda and Johnny. Della Custo, the mother of Paul. Jill Rickeisen, the mother of Ben. Henry Coburn, the husband of Senga. Henry Elton, the father of Gary, grandfather of Sarah and James, and father-in-law of Ali. Jean Freeman, the mother of Ruth Kent. Jonathan Benjamin Manson, the husband of Lizzie. Lawrence Bresnark, the father of Vanessa Burl, grandfather of Francesca and Gabriella. Philip and Karen Cope, the parents of Vivian Dines and grandparents of Gemma Knight. Rita Lowy, the mother of Claire Francis and grandmother of Simon, Adam, and Thomas. Samuel Julius Rubin, the father of Rachel Hughes. Sybil Levenberg, the mother of Sandra Harris. And Charlie Castle, the father of Anne Lyons, grandfather of Aaron and Emily. And we're saddened to announce the deaths this past week of Alma Harrington, the mother of Richard, Angela, and Andrew, of Mari Driffle, the mother of Doffy Aarons, mother-in-law of Terry, grandmother of Debbie Drapkin and Phil Aarons, great-grandmother of Lily, Matt, Josh, and Poppy, and of Rita Binden Wright, friend of so many within our community, who died just yesterday, the mother of Russell. The sorrow of bereavement is, we hope, softened by the bond of love which continues to unite us with our dear ones, and by our cherished memories of them, which we will always carry in our hearts. May all that was good in their lives remain with us as an influence for good. O God, grant consolation to those who are in sorrow, and light to those in darkness. Teach us at all times to put our trust in you, and to praise your name as we do together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei,
בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעמי עמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה. דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל. ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו. הוא יעשה שלום. עלינו ועל כל ישראל. ועל כל בני אדם. ואמרו amen.
May great peace descend from heaven, and abundant life be granted to us, to all Israel, to all humanity, and to all those who at this time mourn. And let us say,
Amen. If you are standing, you may be seated. We are going to conclude with Hine Matov, which you can find on page 194 in a moment. But before we do, just a few announcements, because although we can't do very much meeting in person because we have to obey social distancing, it's a term that I didn't even think I would get to know what that means. We do have things coming up. Most importantly, first of all, we are going to have Kiddush coming up. There will be a short break where I hope you all imagine that we're moving into the Osorio Hall, but instead of moving into the physical Osorio Hall, we are moving into our Zoom room. So the link is up on the Facebook page. You can see the link to the Zoom room, which is going to be our virtual Osorio Hall where we will be doing Kiddush, and hopefully that will give you an opportunity to also interact with each other. If you have a webcam on your computer, feel free to turn it on so we can see how you've been celebrating with us and not just see the comments. So that's coming up straight after the service. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. our Shabbat morning service. Followed also by a Kiddush in our virtual Osorio Hall. On Sunday, because even though we are doing social distancing, we are allowed to meet outside in the park, provided we stay far away from each other. So if you want to join me for a small stroll, it's probably only going to be about half an hour, although people can add on more, in Pinner Memorial Park, the end closest to Pinner Tube Station, where the car park is. We'll be meeting at 11 a.m. for a little walk on Sunday morning.
And I haven't been quite so organised to organise my walks, but I'm going to be doing a few as well. And also, it's one of the benefits of being on the committee of Croxley Tennis Club. One of the other activities that we're able to do is to be outside and playing tennis. So I'm sure I'll provide a number of opportunities for us to come together as well. We're looking at other opportunities this coming week, but give us a little bit of time to work through them all. But we'll certainly be at midday on Friday on Zoom for our Parashat HaShavua and then for our services the following weekend.
And we're learning Hebrew beforehand.
Oh, you're doing that as well.
We're learning Hebrew on Tuesday night. So if you feel you want to learn a new skill because you now have a little bit more time at home, our beginners class, Hebrew class, begins on Tuesday night at 8 on Zoom. If you need the details, it'll be posted all online. And my advanced class is still going strong. So the advanced class will only begin anew in a couple of weeks. We'll announce that in time. But if you want to start again from the beginning, join us in the beginning, and then you might be able to come and move to the advanced class very soon as well.
I'd just like to say before we conclude this service, our virtual service, a huge thanks to Leo and John, who have really made all of this possible for us to do it, and hopefully in good quality. I'm sure that there's been a few blips, and please bear with us as we organise and try to make everything better for you at home. And over the coming months, we hope that you will join together with us in community. Over these times, we will occasionally need to look up to the hills and to hope that we will have our prayers answered. And also we can always look to our community and to say how good and pleasant it is when sisters and brothers live peacefully together in community. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחות גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחות גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחות גם יחד. מי ששיכן את שמו בבית הזה, may the one whose presence dwells in this house, all of our homes, all of our community, cause love and harmony, peace and friendship to dwell among us. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And do come and join us for Kiddush in the Zoom room, if we manage it. You should be able to stay live on Facebook. There will be a short moment where we're swapping over. But if you do want to interact with us, then do join us on Zoom. And this is my little wave to Leo to give him the indicator that we're swapping